and this is the best, but this is why I wanted this chapter. In my opinion, this little bit is the best part of the whole book.
Was that the yeoman
The wedding
the
reception.
wedding reception.
Not a ball.
When the wedding reception, not a ball, TM. That
The thing, but it's fairly obscure and or doesn't exist anymore. It's not a standard.
Oh, it's like the actual sort of old Wild West, like, oh, okay.
Shut up.
Oh, Brandon did research. Okay.
Brandon did research about this thing that John was complaining about.
Yeah, what else is new?
Everyone, and welcome back to Cosmere Connections. We're a collective of book-loving nerds rereading Brandon Sanderson's Cosmere series. From book 1 to book 16 million, we'll be uncovering every secret connection there is to find. On our show today, we have Swiggity Swoo.
Hey, welcome everybody. Today's episode is brought to you by Twix. Chew it over with Twix.
I'm pretty sure it's not actually, though.
No, it is. It is.
Oh.
No, it's not.
John.
Hi. Yeah, that's me. Sorry.
Okay.
Hey.
And I'm ReaderWarrior, and today we're going to be covering Mistborn, Alloy of Law, Part 3, Chapters 16 through 20. The end of the book, with the exception of things.
The epilogue.
Right.
So I'm going to say happy belated Halloween, and get right on into Chapter 16.
Mm-hmm.
So Wayne, taking on the visage and voice of an elderly woman named Abrygian, hobbles his / what is it?
Abrygian, I think is how it's pronounced in the audiobook.
It's like Abrygian. Hobbles his / her way toward the breaknaught private guard for House Tikiol notices his / her gaze and starts to flex upon it. He says it has an internal clock, making it impossible to open until the time is up. The doors are 6 inches thick, and armored guards will be set inside of it. As Abrygian tries to push for more details, the guard grows suspicious and tries to grab him / her. Abrygian runs off and disappears, with Wayne abandoning the persona. His hands shake as he fires his gun cane, causing panic and an exit for him to flee. A few seconds later, inside of a slider bubble, Wayne is dressed as an average-looking nobleman and attempts to take charge of the situation as Lord Evanstrom. He grabs the same guard, barking and yelling at him, pretending to be a Tikiel lord. He learns a few more details before sending him back. Another bubble, costume change, accent and hat, and Farnsworth dub. Time waxes with him, also in costume, and they're told to guard the door. Gunshots suddenly fire out, causing even more discord. Wax is shot, and the guards fire back wildly. No one stops to ask Farnsworth why he's throwing Brent to the car, because they're all busy with the gunshots. The gunfire fades a few seconds later after Farnsworth locks the breaknaught. The soldiers, particularly the captain, are worried, but thanks to Wayne's verbal prodding, figure that their mission was a success and the Vanishers are beaten. A short time later, the train leaves and Farnsworth vanishes into the mist.
Is that the whole chapter? I love it. It's like that chapter with Kelsier in the Final Empire when he's pretending to be the nobleman and then he pretends to be the informant.
Yeah. It is kind of reminiscent of that, isn't it?
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah, it's kind of fun to see putting on the different personas and how he thinks when he's putting on his different personas, because his mind, like he is that person now.
I feel like it was I love Wayne in this chapter. This was very good. We see like why Wax has sort of kept him around because he's able to get information that like nobody else does. And when he fails at it as the old lady, he immediately switches to somebody else. He immediately gets more information from that.
He
The
didn't
details
fail
of
at
life.
it as the old lady. Well, he did, but he did it on purpose.
Right, he kind of intentionally let slide. He was trying to make a big distraction.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think the TKL Lord was like a backup plan. I think
No.
he might have.
No.
Yeah, because he pushes too hard as the old lady. The guy grows suspicious. I don't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
he
pushes
did
too
that on
hard
purpose.
because he
Because he dropped his accent.
yeah, he stopped speaking in the old woman accent on purpose.
Right,
to
he needed to get the guard
guard.
away from the door so Wax could slip in.
Yeah.
You're right. I just
We know
thought
we're
letting
right.
his accent slip could be a. Okay, but I thought letting his accent slip could just be a he didn't mean to do that.
No.
I mean, it could be,
Sometimes
but it becomes
slip.
clear as you continue to read that that was intentional.
Yeah.
From this point on in the book, we are in the phase of the heist movie where the plan has been concocted, right? Everything that's happening now, they already talked about off screen. You're gonna go in first. You're gonna
Exactly.
dress as an old lady. You're gonna go lure them away, and then come back as a nobleman, and then make them think that they fought them off. And it's to the point where it almost is impossible that somebody could come up with this. But like, I love that we're here.
Make the plan,
It's like
execute the plan, expect the plan to go off the rails. Throw away the plan.
yeah, it's like it's that part of the Oceans movie where like everything is happening and it seems like there's a hiccup in the plan, but then at the end of the movie they go back and recap and you find out that no, everything went exactly to plan and that was supposed to happen.
Yep.
Anything else first?
I was just thinking about like that. The lock mechanism is kind of funny. Like it'll lock itself for 12 hours, and nobody can get in or out, and we're gonna have these men inside. Like those guys gonna be locked in there for 12 hours.
Yeah.
I hope they brought a sandwich.
Yeah, I just thought that was kind of crazy.
And something to pee in.
Yeah, and a way to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, right. A book, maybe I mean, what do they got, a match in there? Like
I hope they all like each other too, or like.
The next upgrade is a hole in the corner for them to pee out.
Completely sealed. We don't know how they killed the guards when we got here. All the guards were dead. Nobody had opened it. Were there air holes?
There had to be if they had planned for 12 guys. But I really like sort of. I see a lot like in I want to say Cosmere Reads like they were talking about how ridiculous of a concept the breaknaught is, but I kind of like how in world a character can create this and think it will succeed, but in all reality it doesn't, because like the breaknaught does have a lot of contradictions to it, like dropping in water they're gonna die. So we know they're breathing somehow, and to be honest, nailing the box to the floor doesn't do much.
But also, it's kind of funny. Like we know how they're stealing the train cars, so it's like they are so focused on like they're protecting against the wrong thing.
Right. We know they're just gonna take the whole train car.
Yeah, it's like you don't need to
Miles.
crack the lock if you just steal the safe.
Like Miles was right. Everybody was so distracted with the Vanishers, nobody ever thought, "Hey, there's a boat with a crane on it." Okay, I'm gonna move.
Mhm.
Yeah, 17. I also got this one. Locked by the unbreakable train car, Wax removes his guard uniform and fake blood, and changes into a basic set of clothes. He has Vindication as well as 2 of each Haze Killer types, and his Pathian earring to keep him company as he harshly prays @/2 Harmony, and as the train car slows, he pulls out the dynamite and detonator they procured early in their story. I like this scene, because, like, I can imagine, like, Wax, and it has to all be silent. You see, like, Wax taking off, like, he's got blood packs, and, like, pulls out the stopwatch, keeping track of, because he knows when they're most likely to do it, and you can see him pull out the stopwatch, and it's like a really great scene of how smart Wax is as a character. The Phantom Railcar was in fact a pump wagon with a fake light and chemical battery. And pause real quick, there was a lot of detail on the chemical battery, and it kind of showcases, hey, these people are a little bit more technologically advanced than the rest of the world. And the set that's funding them are that advanced compared to everybody else.
They're learning electricity.
Wayne and Marassi, who's wearing pants, lay gasp. Watch, that is literally in my notes, lay gasp. Watch as the breaknaught train slows to a stop. As the mist rolls in, Tekiel guards jump out, but the wooden train facade falls away to reveal a rotary gun that quickly dispatches them all. Then, like a leviathan, something emerges from the canal. A leg reaches out and slams to the ground. Then an arm reaches over and plucks the train off the breaknaught car off the tracks and into its mouth. Except the beast was a canal boat, its leg a stabilizing pillar, and its arm a crane. As Marassi and Wayne watch, the barge beast then picks up the breaknaught and places it where the original was. And then it was gone, vanishing back into the canal's waters under the guise of shadows and mist.
I like that moment where she almost thinks that it's like alive.
Because it kind of does. It feels alive. Like when she looks at it, like it's misty, it's dark, like there's this thing in the water.
A lesser technologically advanced society, magic
Is
something just looks like
indistinguishable.
magic.
Magic is indistinguishable from sufficiently advanced science.
Exactly.
Technology, but yes.
Technology, yeah.
Anything for that little section? Dokie. Miles was proud of his machine and theatrics. With the exception of Wax, no one in the basin had been able to solve the mystery of the Vanishers. The barge was as realistic as possible, with paperwork too, and the additions could be safely hidden away. Tarson, the Kolos-blooded pewter arm to Miles, and says there was no sign of Wax. They killed everyone under Tekiel's employ, but didn't find the lawman. Miles says he was most likely in the car, but there's nothing to do until they get back to base. Well, they could drop in the canal, but they'll lose the aluminum and reveal what happened to the real car. Don't want to do that. As they drift through Ellendale, Push and Pull, Suit's babysitting bodyguards, joins him. The mists were thick, and this frightened a lot of the Vanishers. Miles used to be in the Church of the Survivor, and believed the mists were a manifestation of his, capital H, will. But Miles had left that belief for a greater one, like his past as a lawman and his future as a Vanisher. They reach the Iron Spine Tower and dock beneath it, unloading the barge and meeting up with most of the remaining members of his gang. The Vanisher's hideout revealed. Miles grabs some guns as they chain the car down to keep it from falling as they rip the doors off. He orders everybody to ready their weapons and to shoot at the first person they see inside. The Set soldiers are upset Miles didn't tell them he brought Wax to their base, but Miles says they'll deal with him quickly. He won't. He closes his mouth and stops breathing. He doesn't want to be distracted, and his metal minds will sustain him. That is ridiculous.
So there's our in a previous conversation we had a debate about whether or not someone who's being choked who had a metal mind would be able to survive passing out due to lack of oxygen. There's our answer.
Yup.
Hmm? I don't remember
The
which
door
way I
rips-
came down on that.
I think I came down against it, so I'm once again proven wrong.
By the book.
The door rips free, but nothing inside moves. Miles pauses and then notices the string trail from the car to the door, or more specifically, from Wax's hidden hand to the dynamite taped to the door side. Kaboom.
Is that the end? Is that the end of this chapter?
Yes, it is.
Very dramatic end to this chapter.
Yes.
So, let's see.
He
There's a
re-
line how
Oh, I'm sorry.
after you.
He really never told them that Wax was probably in the train car. Like, imagine like 30 seconds before you're about to go fight this guy, like this legendary lawman. Like, oh, by the way, Batman's in there, just so you know. What?
Yeah. He's like, yeah, I don't know how he got in there, but he's definitely in there. Like,
I
But
can't
then
say for certain, but I can say for certain.
But then I like Miles too a little bit because he's like, well, you guys were hired to help me fight this guy. Why, like, why are you all of a sudden so nervous? And I wonder if that's just a mindset you would get if you could heal yourself from any wound instantaneously.
Could be.
I don't think it's the fact that they are representation of the set and whatever that organization may be. And this is supposed to be somebody who's doing their will, and he's not telling them everything. And it's kind of showcased how Miles is not exactly following the set's plan.
Yeah, it definitely kind of seems to me like Miles working with the set is almost like it's almost like you're just working with a different version of the people that you're angry at. Like maybe just a way worse version even.
Potentially. Also, the reason like they couldn't fire immediately is because they all had like aluminum bullets and they didn't want to waste them if they didn't need to. I believe Miles even says like, "Oh, we'll melt fire once you see something starting, we'll melt them down and turn them later." But like they're gonna lose aluminum doing that. So it makes
Yeah.
sense for them to wait until they see something first.
I do remember hearing something about that. I can't remember if it was this book or one of the other ones, but like, yeah, all the guys are like supposed to have their aluminum rounds chambered, but they keep them in their pockets.
Yeah.
Because if they don't need them, and they
That
make it
one-
out.
that was at the yeoman
The wedding
the
reception.
wedding reception.
Not a ball.
When the wedding reception, not a ball, TM. That and they didn't have their aluminum guns. They didn't have their guns out because they didn't want to fire the
No, they very much
on
did have the
accident.
aluminum guns because
Some of them did. Some of them did not.
they had the aluminum guns. They just didn't have the aluminum bullets in the guns because Wayne obviously
Okay.
stole a bunch of both.
Yeah.
Or
he stole
traded.
one. He traded one gun and a bunch of bullets.
And
Yeah,
rifle
yeah.
round.
The wrong bullets.
Yeah, the wrong bullets.
Which, by the way, for the sake of simplicity, this book treats all pistol and rifle bullets as like interchangeable so long as they go in a pistol or rifle. And that's like it. It's like a video game.
Yeah.
That is not how that really works.
You're telling me Wax doesn't walk up to a floating, spinning green box that says shotgun ammo, and it just instantly goes into his rifle?
Okay. But
Correct.
for the sake of like arguing, this is like a population that like dropped completely and is just like sort of in this one area for the most part. Could be they made like a uniform standard of bullet.
No,
Well-
they didn't, because we have things like the Styrian 36s, which bothered the crap out of me the first time I read this, because there is no 36, it's a 38, thank you very much. Or if there is a 36, it's pretty obscure in the real world. But yeah, that denotes the caliber, which is the circumference, or, well, it's the diameter of the bullet. So, yeah, it's a thing.
1851 Navy, Heckler and Koch G36 assault rifle.
Okay, there you go. So like it is a thing, but it's fairly obscure and or doesn't exist anymore. It's not a standard.
Oh, it's like the actual sort of old Wild West, like, oh, okay.
Shut up.
Oh, Brandon did research. Okay.
Brandon did research about this thing that John was complaining about.
Yeah, what else is new?
Okay. My two little extra details are there's a comment how Miles liked to be, which is very reminiscent of somebody we used to know who very much liked to be feared by people he did not like. And then there was also a line how Tarson was, who's the Kolos-blooded pewter arm, is also a savant.
A pewter savant. Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
No, which is hard to get to, because usually pewter savant, like people who are becoming pewters, die before they get to the point of savantism, just because they kill themselves on accident because they just push themselves too hard and just keel over.
Let's see.
That
Oh,
guy
it
would
was
be.
also the same caliber for the Colt pistol. That makes a lot more sense. Yeah, apparently this was the size for the Wild West.
Okay, do we want to keep going then?
Boom!
John?
Wax blows up the dynamite on the door and kills 4 vanishers before fighting more of them. He's pinned down almost immediately, and he doesn't even bother with a steel bubble since it won't affect the aluminum bullets. He realizes there are Allomancers fighting him, and he readies some of Renette's special ammo. But Tarson, the pewter-armed Kolos-blooded vanisher, smashes it away. The roof explodes, part of it at least, and Wayne jumps down, saving Wax from a coin shot. They banter about Wayne's coat, and we find Marassi is there also. Yeah, wow, my notes are terrible.
I was curious how
they-
she got there.
Well, she got there with
she got there the
Wayne.
same way Wayne did, yeah.
Oh, she just rode
Yeah.
in the with Wayne.
Her and Wayne came together because they were watching they followed the barge.
Yeah, they were up on a hill watching or something.
Mm.
Excuse
Okay.
me.
A bug for me is that how are they getting faster than trains and barges? And I think it's supposed to be like, oh, Wax knew where they would be, and so they could cut them off.
Well,
Well, they didn't
also-
get there faster. They spent a reasonable amount of time breaking open the breaknaught. So they had some time to catch up.
Yeah.
Well, they got there faster than the breaknaught on the train, but yeah, I guess they didn't get there faster than the canal.
Yeah. Well, yeah, for the breakdown on
also-
the train, they could cut across over land.
And the tracks only go one place.
Yeah. So, and I think they were riding horses as well. I think they have horses. They have something there.
Yeah, they have
Music.
horses.
It's funny that Wayne's power doesn't really let him. I mean, would that help you like move quickly through the city?
Not really, because the
Because of
speed
the
bubbles are
cooldown.
not- and the speed bubbles aren't very big,
Right.
like relatively.
So you'd be moving really fast with like for a couple of meters at a time. Like
Yeah.
wouldn't really.
And then you would have to drop it and then wait for a second and then put up the next one.
Yeah, I mean, it would technically be faster just mathematically, but like how much faster is debatable.
Yeah, it's not like the Flash just zipping to a location.
Yeah.
Right.
And it wouldn't be as fast as I think a pewter is.
Yeah, I think it's more like a laggy computer because you're like, brr, brr, brr. Yeah. Anyway. So let's see, where was I? Wayne jumps down, saves Wax from a coin shot. They banter. So they break and the action resumes. Wayne bounces around like Spider-Man on crack, fighting and pushing, pulling, but not having any luck until Marassi hits one of them in the face, saving Wax.
Classic.
Wow, I must have been listening at like 3 times speed when I was doing these notes. Yeah, I think that's supposed to be Wax bounces around like Spider-Man on crack, not Wayne bounces around like Spider-Man on crack. Although it could be applicable either way. Because if I remember right, the POV kind of like shifts back and forth a little bit like that and tries to encompass like all the things that are happening.
For where you are right now, it's so far just been Wax POV.
Okay, well, but it also describes what Wayne and Marassi are doing. Is my point.
Yeah.
So, Wax and Marassi run inside something, because this whole thing takes place in a giant warehouse, so I'm not sure what it is they ran inside of. But they see Wayne blurring in between opponents and dropping people one at a time. Wax throws another thing of dynamite and causes the baddies to duck for cover. Wayne puts up another speed bubble, and they take a moment to strategize before leaping back into the fray. Wax goes for Miles, Wayne for the rest of the Vanishers. Wax ducks into the train car to find cover and reload, while when Miles actually shows up and kind of blocks the entrance. Wax triggers his trap, and a net falls and ties up Miles. While Wax reloads, and Miles, this is actually when one of the cooler things happens. Miles pulls out a stick of dynamite and blows himself up to escape the net. Wow. Just wow.
It's pretty hardcore.
Right?
Like, how much health does this man have stored up? Like, it's just an insane amount.
Well, and the amount of gold that he's got to have in him, like, because he's like making it as he goes, like constantly, I think.
Yeah.
So
Also, like, he doesn't feel pain, so why not blow? As long as the metal mines stay in, which they're screwed into like his bones, he's set.
Which, how do you screw gold into bone?
Doesn't matter. It's cool.
You know,
I guess that's fair.
the rule of cool.
I cannot argue that. But anyway.
Quick pause it here, because this is where we have a POV break.
Not quite.
Okay.
Not quite. I have like 2 more lines here. Miles frees himself from the nets. He monologues for a bit, and Wax tries to recover his hearing and reorient himself. Then he launches himself away and gets knocked out. Whoosh. Now there's a POV break.
Okay. So, at the very beginning, we sort of see like Wayne's bubble able to slow down the explosion. Now we're able to see like the bullet leaving the chamber as it fires. I'm going to go back at some point and I'm going to calculate how exactly slow that bubble is moving based upon those 2 parameters.
Are you going to do the math, or is ChatGPT going to do the math?
Well, if I load it into a calculator, is it me doing the math or the calculator doing the math?
It's the middle ground between the two. Between ChatGPT doing it and you doing it. Because if you have ChatGPT, this is so tangential. Keep going.
Okay, so Wayne has beef with Tarson. The aluminum rounds that were rough long ago are now back. And then sort of, this is where I kind of have a bit of confliction with this book. Because the whole setting in this underground layer is kind of meh. And it does feel like, where even is this? What's even going on? I'm kind of confused on it all.
Yeah. Okay, valid.
And then, like, I kind of feel, but then when like Wax goes outside and he goes up the iron spine like he did at the beginning, I'm like, okay, this is a good setting. I can envision this. I see what's going on. Like everything in this cave chamber thing just is nothing to me. And I kind of feel like it would be cool if like maybe we didn't go back to Ellendale. Maybe this did take place in like the Roughs, Wild West, and have it be more cowboy. And I feel like that may have been cool. I just feel like this whole battle in this underground chamber is just kind of, I don't want to say unimaginative, but I have difficulty imagining it in a lot of, except when like Wax goes out and when Miles blows himself up. That's
But you don't see it like a, you don't see it like a Greek style, like, or like Renaissance painting, like you do the fountain where they were doing the executions in the Final Empire. Like, just there's something that I had a hard time picturing these scenes in like a real place. Even in my chapter, when I was trying to summarize like the action scenes, it was hard to picture like there's like a wooden building above a canal. Like, yeah, definitely not the best setting from a guy who comes up with some really awesome, really iconic settings.
I think it's meant to be like you got the Iron Spine building and then you got like a basement and that's where like all the stuff comes in. And that's where, and so there's like a hallway leading down. They got like a sort of shed that connects to it, and that's where Steris was being kept. It's just like the whole underground layer just feels not the greatest.
I feel like we need a map.
Yeah, a visual might help.
That would be helpful. When I go through this collection of chapters, this prolonged final battle with the Vanishers, I picture it like a real-time strategy game where you're like top down looking at everything as it's going on. It's just the way because it's like there's like 40 Vanishers and there's like 4 good guys and you're trying to, there's a one game in particular and I can't remember the name of it now, but it's like a World War II game where you get 4 specialist commandos and they're the 4 guys that you control and they each do different things, and it makes me think of this, or this chapter makes me think of that, whatever, either way.
Yeah.
And you've got Miles blowing himself up. The fact that he's done it before, and that's why he always has those specific, is I actually kind of really like that detail.
What did you say you cut out for a second?
That he keeps dynamite in his cigar case.
He's always strapped.
Like, it wasn't just, I really like this brand of cigars. It's also, this is the perfect size thing for a little bit of dynamite.
Yeah. And no one ever checks the cigar case for dynamite.
And you can put your TNT in there.
Sorry.
Wayne battles on, eating the last of his Bendaloy and lamenting how he was nearly out of healing. He lands on he leads Tarson along for a while when he spots Wax passed out. Wayne takes a bullet on his way to help Wax. The coin shot has a bead drawn on him, and apparently he's using Marassi's rifle, according to my notes.
Yep.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. So Wayne makes a break for the coin shot. Then we POV shift back to Wax, who groans and draws a little Derringer 2-shot pistol as a last defense, even though he knows it's not going to do anything against Miles. Mist pours in, and Wax says a little spiteful prayer to Harmony, asking for help. And this is the best, but this is why I wanted this chapter. In my opinion, this little bit is the best part of the whole book. He says his little, like, spiteful, angry prayer asking for help, and then God answers. Wax is stunned for a second, but he has a little conversation with God, and basically he says, "Can I get a little help?" And God says, "You are the little help."
I've already given you help, essentially.
I sent you.
Well, yeah, that Wax is the help that, to take care of all of this horrible crap that's happening. Um,
Oh, I
stunned.
definitely took it as the help that he sent. Like, yes, it's Wax, but it's also the fact that Wax's stuff is there.
Yeah, no, that's coming. That's coming. So Wax is like, well, can I have a little more help? And God's like, you're welcome. As Wax lays eyes on his chest with his Sterians and his mystical cloak in there, and his shotgun, and God, who some of us may recall from a previous book, says, "You're welcome." And I could just picture
Okay.
the little shit-eating grin on his face, like.
I think we can say who God is. We can say who Armini is, right? Because
I
I think this is like,
Yes.
the perfect time is you sort of have like Wax like on the ground bleeding out. He's like, this is my final moment. And then the mist pours in, and then he's still got the Pathian earring in, I guess, this whole time.
Yeah,
then-
so because you're supposed to keep the earring in when you're doing important things.
Yes.
And then you hear a familiar voice, the voice of Sazed, just, hello. And imagine how calming that will be in this exact moment. This actor returning.
Well, he doesn't
just
say
for one
hello. He says, "Are you divine?" like Miles says.
Okay, hello in a very Sazed way.
Yes, yeah, that's true. That is a very Sazed way to open up a conversation.
And he's
But
like, make
this,
your own choices. I sent you to help, and I've already sent help to help you. And it's just like this beautiful Deus Ex Machina.
I was literally going to use that term. Bones.
It's a very beautiful scene. I love this scene.
Yeah, it is the defining moment. It's where this book went from good to great. It's like this little moment of pure like fan giddiness, and you're like, and then we get a whole different like moment like that in just a moment, because the POV shifts to Marassi, who is hiding from the coin shot, because she left her rifle out as a distraction, which totally explains how he got it. She struggles to find something to do to help, because she's like hunkered down and like hiding. She's disoriented and afraid, but she's still trying. The coin shot push lands next to her, and
Doesn't land next.
lands next to Miles, and tells Miles that Pull is dead. There we go. Killed by Wayne, if I remember right. No, killed by Marassi.
Yeah.
Yeah, she shot him in the face to save. Yeah. Miles explained that Wax and Wayne are like rats. You have to get them to come to you. He points his gun at Marassi, who just now realizes that she's been spotted, and tells her to call for Wax. Scream, beg for help. But she is paralyzed with fear. And then she sees a figure silhouetted in the mist. Wah, wah, wah.
His coat wide, mist pouring in around him, guns in hand.
Ladies
Promptly
and
lowers his
gentlemen.
shotgun and blasts Miles in the side. Blam!
Waxilium Dawnshot, Meadowborn Lawman, has returned.
Back in Black starts playing.
Right?
Imagine, like, maybe you hear, like, the faint sounds of, like, some, like, Arrow 1 music whenever, like, Vin and Ellen showed up, or a Mistborn music, and it's just, like a countrified version of that, but you still hear it again. As, like, Wax finally...
Pedal
gets
faster.
that
I hear
return.
banjos.
What about Enter Sandman? It just pans over to the smoking gun.
Cause I'm a cowboy, baby. Maybe not
Like,
that one. I don't know.
Like,
But yeah,
this
and
is rough.
that's the end of the chapter, and then we get to see some epic scaleness in the next chapter.
That's right.
Like, these two last POVs are, like, the best parts of the book, I think. Because you get God. And then you also have Wax returning to duty. And it's great.
Fully returning.
Yeah. And so, few details. So Miles is like shirtless throughout this whole fight from now on because he blew himself up. And so I'm imagining like the Frankenstein-esque screws that are in his arms for his metal mines. And like you see them like over his body and how amazingly freaky that would look. Like now that you see him like bare chest and he's got them all over, and they're not like organized like the Inquisitors were. They're sort of haphazard, just wherever he placed them or wherever they were most opportune.
Yeah, if this is
They're on his. Aren't they on his arm?
Yeah, but they can be other places.
if this
And we
is a
know that
movie
he's got
we-
some like inside him. Well, we will know that shortly.
Mm. but we need to see those, right? Like he needs to get his flesh blown off, and we get to see that as it's reknit.
Yeah.
Like there's this really awesome animation done by Sadist, who did a Minecraft animation for the Dream SMP, and it shows this character Technoblade reforming from death, and it just shows like the skeleton and then the muscle growing around him, and it's just this really beautiful thing that I sort of envisioned for this.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
I love this chapter.
Yeah, it's like he steps out of the train car, and he's like mostly skeleton, and then his body just like starts reforming.
And then almost similar, like he's got to come out of smoke, and so when Wax comes out in this part with all the mist, he's got like the biggest grin on his face before just shooting Miles full of lead.
Okay, Swiggity.
I'll take it away. Chapter 19. Miles, sporting a brand new chest full of birdshot, is after Wax. Wax tries to push on the metal, but it's living in Miles' torso rent-free until he heals it out, letting Wax shoot him away faster than the cowardly coin shot who fled as soon as Wax shot Miles. That's push. Wax takes cover with Marcy, and he really enjoys the mist cloak flapping behind him again. Miles starts monologuing until Wayne shows up with a speed bubble.
Again.
Yep.
Miles is always monologuing.
No,
It said Miles.
it's
If your
monologuing.
villain doesn't monologue, are they even that good of a villain?
It's
Because like
They're the
the character that made fun of monologues, Syndrome, has like some of the best monologues.
true. Very memorable.
You got me monologuing.
And when
Sly
everyone's
dog.
super, no one will be.
Yep.
Alright, where were we? Wayne shows up with a speed bubble. Wax is in bad shape, but he'll live. In the speed bubble, they wonder if Miles is telling the truth about the men on their way to kill Steris, and it seems like he is. Wax forgets he's an Alamancer, then remembers.
Which is so funny. He's like, I have a bullet, but I don't have a gun to shoot it with. How am I supposed to shoot it at the dude? He's like, and then they just like stare at him, like, and they're just like,
Oh, yeah.
Like I got
you
too caught up in the
dumb-
moment of me having my coat back, man.
like, you dumbass. Like, you are a gun. You
It's like
don't
Trigun.
need-
You are the gun.
It's like, you don't need a gun to shoot metal projectiles.
If only I had a
You
way.
think the Ascendant Warrior used a gun? Come on now.
Well, he eventually remembers. And then he pushes on the haze killer round and kills the coin shot. He pushes himself up into the little wooden building full of gangsters with aluminum. He pushes on the floorboards and scurries away. Then, when they follow him into the hallway, he he unloads both shotguns at once and pushes on the men somehow. Or maybe that's the nails on the room, because as we already established, you can't push on metal that's inside people. So somehow he pushes himself out the window and makes himself light enough while pushing against a lamppost to run along the wall and jump through another window into the room next door to the hallway he was just in, and then he blasts down the wall into the room he was just in, and unloads both revolvers like that one mission in Call of Duty. All of them. He does a lot more shooting and getting shot at. Eventually, he crashes into the room they're keeping Steris, and Noxel the gunsmith, who we all remember,
Love that man.
who can swim and is promptly pushed via shotgun in a non-violent way into the canal outside to safety, presumably.
It's like, I think that's so funny. He's like, "Can you swim?" And I mean, yeah. And then he just like pushes him out the
Yeet!
yeah,
Right.
just yeets him out the window.
You swim right. Oh God!
Now we're burning.
Wax then grabs Steris and shoots a hole in the ceiling, and they blast out like the end of Willy Wonka. But Sanderson makes sure that the magic checks out, and he makes sure that you know that he knows, and that it's just the coolest. And Steris loves it. Wax then taps all of the weight and pushes on the metal and in the building. And sorry, what I wrote was Wax then taps all the weight and pushes on all the metal, and the building collapses as they hover above it. Basically, he makes himself as heavy as a building again and crushes all the Vanishers that were coming to get them. And he sends Steris packing with a shoddy and directions to signal him if there's any heat. In the meantime, he's got a date with Mr. Invincible former lawman.
Yeah. Okay. So when they go outside and do the irons and thing, I actually visualized that, and I thought that was really good. I think the whole fight with the coin shot and like him messing with weight and doing all that one was really good.
This was a really good like tactile like fight scene. Like so much of it, and like I was even joking, but like he'll, if anything gets a little too crazy, he'll take the time to be like, and just so you know, like the way gravity works, like you can, just because you're falling, like all things fall at the same rate. It doesn't, he takes the time to like explain things, which is really cool.
Yeah. Your weight doesn't change how fast you fall.
Air resistance does.
Yes.
So the only thing left to do is deal with Miles. Wax engages him in a fist fight. Miles says Wax is a puppet being used. He tries to guilt Wax for standing up for the old constable in the ball chapter. He's citing all the deaths that poverty causes, and he's trying to compare those two things and make Wax seem like he doesn't care about the regular people in the city. But Wax sees through this, suggesting Miles is trying to pose as Kelsier and invoke the survivor's mandate, but the times have changed. Miles still believes Wax is just a tool, a sword that goes where it's pointed. Wax seemingly has a realization here that Miles would have been a hero in the days of the Final Empire, and vows to help the impoverished in his own way, before being beaten by Miles some more. Marcy can't take it and calls out, starkly antagonizing Miles, who starts monologuing.
Yeah.
While this was all happening, we missed a full Wayne chapter where he acquires a full constable coat and hat, complete with a fake mustache, and convinces about 100 of Ellendel's finest to come to Miles' headquarters, all of which happening in the 20 minutes it took to kick Wax near to death because Merity was doing a time speed-up bubble the whole time.
The most useless power. takes out the most powerful Twinborn.
Yep.
That's right.
Oh yeah.
And she basically,
Stopping there.
yeah, that's the end of my notes. But she has a pretty good line too, right? She gets to rub it in his face really good, if I remember correctly.
Okay, there was a brief moment where it was Tarson, the Kolos blooded guy. He has like Marasi with like a gun to her head, and Wayne is like, "Hey, you can make this shot. I know it's the same shot that killed your wife, but
Oh,
you can do this."
wait a second! I missed that part of my summary. I had that in
Feel
here.
free.
Wax creeps into the Misty Final Boss arena. He realizes Marasi is being held hostage by the Kolos man. Also, Wayne is there. It's a good thing because Miles starts a death count of 3, and as he gets right into the tip of 3, Wax has Wayne stop time so he can chew it over with a Twix. But instead of a delicious candy bar, all he has is crippling PTSD from the prologue. Wax shoots a bullet from the speed bubble, then shoots another right as it goes down the bubble. Steel pushing on the second bullet to hit the first and change its trajectory to hit Tarson square in the noggin.
Yeah, so I need to quickly of how epic this part is. He shoots a bullet through the bubble, which, as established, means the bullet goes randomly in a different direction. He then shoots that bullet, causing it to ricochet into the back of Tarson's head.
Yeah, there's a huge timeline problem with that, though. That would mean
Okay, 1 second. That is awesome.
It's a rule of cool. It wouldn't actually work.
well, maybe because I wasn't thinking about the fact that he's also a coin shot and could push the second bullet to make it go faster to catch up with the first one.
Yeah.
But we're talking like frame perfect input timing here.
For some, well, it's been canonized in the book. Even Miles said it earlier. Is like Wax stupidly good with guns for some reason, born with a pistol in hand.
Wax is the best shot.
Yeah, it's
But
ridiculous.
it's still a ridiculous shot that he definitely shouldn't have been able to make.
Yeah.
Even with an allomancy.
Also, does lead ricochet off of lead? I think it just like mushes and explodes. But rule of cool, it's still freaking awesome.
Another bullet.
So Mythbusters actually did an episode shooting bullets with other bullets.
I remember that now.
Mm-hmm.
They pretty much just shatter midair.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
When bullets ricochet, the velocity is greatly deteriorated and it doesn't bounce back, but would reflect towards another direction.
Yes. But it would also slow down considerably if it got hit. So
apparently it would still have enough momentum to, put a hole in somebody's face.
Yeah.
According to this.
Yeah, it's like
right after you got like Wayne running off, the whole plan is in effect. Just have to stall. We get some really cool terms like the Survivor's Mandate, the Final Empire of Legend. Oh, I love those. And then you get 'em boys, and just like not even Miles can like fight off 50 people. He's like, I defy your oppression.
Yeah.
It's just like the funniest last line of this entire thing. I was just like, defy this, you son of a gun.
I did like also when he was trying to come at them and Wax like shot the pistol out of his hand again, and he said, "Stop doing that."
Yeah.
Oh, that was so good.
This whole time Vindication has disappeared.
Oh yeah, Vindication is gone. Wax lost it somewhere.
Yeah.
Early on, he lost the gun.
Yeah, he doesn't use the haze killer rounds. Well, he uses
Yes, he does.
He
one, but
does.
the
So
shot misses.
yeah, so he tries to use the first one on the
Push.
on push. No, on pull. He tries to use the first one on pull, and it doesn't work because he misses. Because pull happens to dodge at like the instant that
Due to
like
sheer luck.
yeah, due to absolutely sheer luck. He dodges. So, and the like not even on purpose, like just happened to move in the and then he uses the second one on push in the instance, but he doesn't shoot it, he just uses the element. Also, this is a side, but I think that I don't know if y'all know so at the start of chapters they have so chapters 1 through 16 it's a different element each one, and then starting at chapter 17 you have this you have the like 1 and then 2 3 but which I just think is cool because it's base 16 counting system because 16 is special. I just think
Whoa.
fun fact in case y'all didn't notice that.
I did notice there was two. I didn't figure that out. That's really cool.
Yeah, the first one is 16 and then one is 16 is plus that, like 16 plus that number is 20 is equal to the chapter number. Yeah, so that's just a fun fact. In case y'all didn't notice. Are we ready for chapter 20? This is the last chapter in this book, not counting the epilogue.
I'm ready.
It's really cool. So
Okay.
the chapter coin for 16 and 17 is the same, but then you add in the coin for 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is just
I never
kind of
actually
cool.
knew that.
Yeah. I just noticed that. Cosmere Connections. So we are on chapter 20. So this is the end. This is the wrap up. We're finishing up. So they are in the constabulary office. Wax and Marasi are talking to Reddy, and he's essentially talking about how he's like, yeah, we're not going to prosecute Wayne, even though we definitely should because he dressed up as an officer and pretended that he was an officer, but we're not going to actually prosecute him. We're just going to let it go. Wax talks to Marasi and just very kindly turns her down, tells her that no, this isn't gonna work out between us. Is just not. And he kind of thinks to himself that she is very similar to Lessie, which is what he would have wanted when he was younger, but is not what he wants now in his life. It's not the type of person that he wants to be with, to be in a relationship with anymore. Since Lessie died. So
He's letting the ghost lie.
He's letting the ghost lie.
Leslie.
Yeah. So they end up Wax talks to the Constable General Brettin comes over and talks to them and lets Wax know that he has put in a request for Wax to be deputized. And he has backdated it to be yesterday that the request was put in, so that they could say that Wax was working under the constabulary offices, rather than him just working by himself, trying to cover their own tracks. And he's like being really nice to Wax, and Wax is like, this feels weird. You've done like a 180 in your personality, but like, thanks, I guess.
Like, I'm retiring in a week. I'm done.
Yeah, and he does tell them that he's about to retire. Someone else is going to take over, but whenever that person takes over, Wax will still have his like deputy stuff. That will still be in effect. That will be grandfathered in with whoever is the new constabulary general. So then he kind of walks off. Wayne comes over and hands Wax one of the aluminum guns that he has traded for. They have a very funny conversation about Wayne's logic, and essentially how he has no logic.
He's immune to it.
He is immune to logic. He, in fact, bought a ward against it. So,
With a pen.
and he does tell Wax that the gunsmith is alive. They fished him out of the water. He was grumpy about having to be in the water, but he's alive. He's well. He's doing good.
He can swim.
And they think about like they're considering like Miles and the fact that Miles is gonna like they're gonna try to interrogate Miles, feel pain. So Wax isn't quite sure how well that's actually gonna go and if they're actually gonna be able to get any information out of Miles because they still don't know what happened to the other women who were kidnapped. The only one that they were able to rescue was Steris. They don't know what happened to any of the others.
We can torture him psychologically.
So, Steris comes over and talks to Wax. And essentially, in this conversation, she tells Wax that she does want to continue their relationship. She wants it to continue to progress. And Wax is like, cool, like, I guess I do too, but just so you know, like, I'm not gonna stop being me. And Steris is like, fair. We're both old enough and set in our ways that neither of us are really gonna change very much. That like I can put up with you doing this because every husband needs a hobby, and this is better than some.
But not all.
But not all. But it's better than some other hobbies that men have. So they agree to continue their relationship and continue to see how it progresses. So they decide to keep moving forward. Wrap up. Still some loose ends. We don't know what happened to the women. But Miles is in custody right now. The Vanishers were killed by Wax and Wayne, killed and or injured. I think someone might have been injured, might still be alive and just knocked out. But they are, for the most part, most of the Vanishers are dead now. And Steris was rescued. Yay! They got the gunsmith out. Oh, yeah.
Like, you get a bit of emotion from Steris. It's like,
yeah, she's very grateful that like she was fully expecting him to not want to continue in the relationship with her. Because as she states in this that she had tried to be in a relationship with 2 other men previously, and both of them wrote her lengthy letters about how terrible she is, how much they did not like her, and all of the reasons that she was like defective, but like I don't know, like that's not the word that I want to use, but I can't think of it.
Why they rejected her.
Yeah, why they rejected her, essentially.
that's all I got for this chapter. Anybody else have anything for this chapter set?
Pretty standard wrap up kind of. All right, everybody's content, but we'll see what comes next.
Honestly, it's kind of surprising to have like a wrap-up chapter. Typically in Sanderson books, you have like the end of the action and then the epilogue is the wrap-up.
Well, it still is. This is
Yeah, but like it's surprising to have like the one chapter.
Well, yeah.
Let's see.
But
well,
we do have to remember in this, when Sanderson wrote this book, he intended it to be a standalone book.
this is
So-
not the average Sanderson book. Boo boo.
Yeah.
Well, next time we're going to be finishing the Alloy of Law. We're going to be covering the epilogue. We're going to be covering the Ars Arcanum, and we're going to be covering the broadsheets. And we're not going to probably discuss all of them, but probably everybody can pick like one of their favorites to talk about. And then that's going to be it. We're also going to rank the book as we do for everything. We're not going to talk about Elantris or the Emperor's Soul, so don't need to worry, but those will be included in the rankings. But for now, it's time to head into the spoiler realm. So if you have not finished this book, which that's pretty impressive if you haven't, the entire series, or potentially the entire Cosmere, then we recommend that you stop here because it is likely that we will talk about everything and anything. If you are caught up, feel free to stick around because it's likely that we will bring up details one may have missed or plot threads still yet to come. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, star, or heart, or whatever it is on this podcast, and don't be afraid to comment your own thoughts and predictions. We would love to hear from you. You can find us on our socials via the link tree in our description. But if this is where we part, then my name is ReaderWarrior. I have been joined by Swiggity Swoo,
Thanks for coming by.
John,
until we meet with old Iron Eyes.
and Kay.
Have a good one.
And don't forget, there's always another connection.
Okay.
And we're back. Spoilers. We killed Kay.
You're gonna get us put on a list of some kind.
It's Halloween.
Who's gonna correct me now?
I have unchecked power at my fingertips.
And you're dressed as a red herring.
Dragon has joined the call. Damn it!
Dragon, if you're gonna show up, now would be the perfect time.
Before he goes on a tangent, save us. Okay.
Quick, somebody
So
make a
chapter
Star Wars
18.
reference.
Chapter 18. I will at some point do or load into ChatGPT the calculations for Wayne's bubble. I still think this whole scene is kind of bleh. Because I can't really see anything in this underground chamber.
Yeah, it's a little hard to visualize outside of the action, and I think that's kind of partly intentional because like we see that the mist comes in and like it's not meant to be like clear and distinct. It's meant to just be like, don't worry about that. Just follow what's going on and enjoy the explosions.
Okay, I'm stupid. So I go off my notes of other people's. I completely forgot we had 2 other chapters before 18. So real quick. Chapter 16. This is Wayne getting wax into the
Those
train
are
car.
your chapters too.
But the thing is, I do mine on paper. I do little short notes on typey. And so when I go through, I just look at the typeys.
Okay.
So I got nothing spoilery except for Wayne evolves with his hats and personas in the future.
Yes, we did talk about how he's really good at like embodying somebody after putting on their hat. And I guess in this episode I had talked about like, oh yeah, spoilers, but like later on he takes that to a whole new degree. And like, yeah, in the Lost Metal, doesn't he like solve a crime by wearing somebody's hat?
He steps into like a whole like he doesn't create a persona, he becomes a person who already exists.
With just like a sheer strength and empathy.
With like I think Wax and Marasi just give him random details and then he puts on the hat and then he just figures out.
He's like a large language AI.
Oh boy. Way to ruin Wayne.
Just trying to get that SEO.
Anything for chapter 16? Okay, chapter 17. This is so we've got Wax in the breaknaught, and I think at one point Wax comments like, "How do you kill somebody who's immortal?" And that's like the Cosmere tagline.
Yeah, kinda.
Yeah, for
Do
sure.
we ever fight somebody who's like not immortal? Somebody who doesn't heal instantly?
Well, I mean, sure. Just it's inconsequential. Like people like that die all the time. A lot of them don't have names.
What is the lowest stakes Cosmere villain?
Zane? Blue Fingers?
Gaz?
He has a whole redemption arc.
Yeah, he's not like a focus of a book.
Yeah.
Do you even see Blue Fingers die?
I think so. Right at the very, very end.
That's a good question.
'Cause I remember he killed
I'm trying to
Ken.
think. Tavlakov,
Fuck.
the slaver that took Khaled into the Shattered Plains.
Okay, that's not a villain. That's just
He's kind of a villain.
Does he not join Shallan's crew as well?
No, she sends him away with a prejudice. She is not happy with him, and she sends him away. And he comes back around later, if I remember correctly. But
how's
yeah,
Blue Fingers? Like he's mortal. All of his plans are like on the human level.
Oh, actually, a better one. The thug from who's always hanging around with Denth. What the hell's his name?
Tonk Far?
The wacky crazy.
Tong Fa, yes.
Yeah, Tonk Fa. Well, he survives.
I remember all these Cosmere names. But I think it might be Blue Fingers. It's just funny because in that book it's more set up like it's like you're thinking of Susabran the whole time as being the
Right, yeah.
and then it's kind of flipped on its head.
And it's meant to be like that. Although you're also meant to think that Vasher's a bad guy, so
I mean, he kind of is.
Actually, after
but is he though? He's
He
really
starts
not.
in the prologue killing people and throwing a sword that kills people.
He's just indifferent to the lives of the insignificant.
That's not a good thing.
I was spoiled
But-
on that because I knew Vasher was like in Stormlight. So like
Oh, dude, do you know how long it took me to figure out that he was
Okay. Pulling us back to Mistborn.
well, like also the villains after this book are not super immortal either, right?
That's true.
In these
Well,
series.
let's see. Bleeder. Kind of immortal.
In the name.
Yeah. I mean, then you've got the set, and then you've got
That's true.
So then you've got the scene with the Phantom Railcar. We see like chemical battery, and like we are seeing like the set definitely more technologically advanced than anything on Scadrial.
I just think it's funny that they're set up
Watching the
so
fight.
well that they discover a way to kill each other before they discover a way to communicate with each other at
That's
range.
brilliant. Was
That
it the three things that every society's created? Beer, donuts, and swords?
yeah, something along those lines, yeah.
Yeah. Oh shoot, let me pull it up.
No, it's true. Every society has created some kind of like alcoholic beverage. Every society has created some kind of fried dough, and every society has come up with a way to make a sharp stick.
The reason I can't
The
stop
sword,
laughing
fried dough, fermentation.
is because I keep thinking like Kay leaves this podcast for 5 minutes and we're like, every
And we're talking about
society
everything but the book.
has beer, swords, and donuts. Prove me wrong.
Every man wants to stab another man with a sharp stick, a sharp metal stick, and then celebrate with donuts and beer.
That's right.
There you go.
And wax really is just a sword.
Oh, I wonder if gambling falls into that as well.
Okay. You see the breaknaught, you see what the vanishers actually are, and then there's the never mind, I'm not gonna say that.
Okay. Captain
So
Crypto.
sorry, it's just a thing in my mind I'll say later. You have when Wax puts in the earring and then he starts talking to Harmony, and then it cuts to outside, and that's when the mist shows up. I kind of want that to be that's the exact moment Wax is sort of talking to Harmony. Like this is Harmony reaching out, offering help.
I mean, since the mist is literally the body of preservation, yeah,
I kind of like
it's
the concept, like the instant that's in his ear clip, like outside, the mist starts to come out.
That'd be cool. I like that.
Rotary gun. They take the car, replace it. I don't know how well of a copy the secondary breaknaught is, but
well, according to Mr. Suit, it's a pretty exacting replica because he complains about how much it cost him to get the plans.
it's like one
That's
poor guy was like, "I carved my
later.
initials into this board. I swear to God, I swear to Harmony," and
Yeah.
now it's gone. Then you've got the whole Miles scene. They're on the boat. He likes to be feared, just like Kelsier was. We learn that Tarson is a savant. They kill all of Tikiel's employ because they don't want them to know about them swapping the cars. Push and pull, yada yada yada. Take him back to the base, which I think this is the exact point. It's like this sort of gets confusing and lost of what exactly is this, and I feel like because it seems to be the basement of the Iron Spine, and I kind of like that we had in the beginning, like he's looking at the Iron Spine. This is the achievement of us reaching towards the Ascendant Warriors battlefield, and that is cool. But I kind of feel like it would have been nice if maybe this went to like an old western town, and this could have been just somewhere along like a riverbed.
How do you get to it being the basement of the Iron Spine? Like,
Well, that's how like they go to the Iron Spine, and then when he goes up, he's in the Iron Spine, right? So this is like sort of that basement, and I'm pretty sure they state like this is the canal where they go.
Yeah, it is confusing to me.
either
For
I never
sure.
noticed that, or but it totally does make sense because I remember there's a part where, he's complaining about not being easily able to keep up with pull because he can't bring himself in towards the narrower upper levels.
The freight dock for the Iron Spine was alongside its own branch from the canal. They steered the barge into it, gliding to a stop. They used the dock's stationary crane to lift the hidden train car off the barge. They're in like this sort of docking basement area.
Guess I totally missed that.
like again, like this whole final battle, with the exception of when they're actually in the Iron Spine and like out of this little cave, not exactly the greatest envisionment.
Hmm.
Like maybe if they
Because
had it in, like the roughs, maybe it could have been better, and you could have had more of like a Western feel to it.
guess that explains how the
On
constables and
side,
stuff got there so
not-
quickly too.
Yeah, that is
Little
one
details.
thing.
Little details.
These
Missed it
these
like 4 times.
these books are so much more Sherlock Holmes than they are Western.
And
Yeah, a
that's
little
what I'm
bit.
kind of disappointed. Is like this one should be more Western, shouldn't it?
Feels like it should.
I don't think so. Because the whole point is that he's coming out of that. He's coming back to civilization. He's returning to people, right? If it was all out in the Wild West, like you wouldn't have like who plans their big heists where there's no money, right? You have to be where the money is to make it a heist. Which is how you tie the themes back to the earlier books, right? Because those were heist books to begin with as well.
You know what's funny is
Did you just critique most Western films?
I just came to a
Well,
realization. I don't
Yeah.
think Brandon writes a lot of like super rural, like accurate-ish characters. Like he's written some very rural people, like the interludes, Voon like the Pure Lake people. That stuff is all like super remote, but I'm talking about like pure like redneck, like degenerates. Like you don't get a ton of that with him. Like I can't picture him writing like this ghost town kind of like I don't know.
You get a lot of like Metropolis, but not a lot of Smallville.
Yeah.
well, I guess I have 2 thoughts on that. The first is see the prologue to the Final Empire. Literally takes place on a plantation.
Yeah.
And like maybe 20 to 25% of the book takes place literally in a crack in the ground.
Yeah, but it's in the city.
No, it's not. It's like it's like a day's run, like it's a steel drag or a pewter drag's run away.
I
It
thought you were
never
talking about
feels like it never feels like isolated. Like all this stuff is all like to do
Right.
with politics and to do with the structure of the city and
Well, but again,
society.
it kind of has to be, right? How do you write an epic fantasy that doesn't involve people, cities, or anything but a main character in isolation? Like that's kind of hard to do. It's a totally different genre at
Totally.
best.
We also did have the prologue of this where you did have the wax in like the old Western time. But I feel like
Yeah,
that could have like maybe tied into that, whereas like he's coming back. This is where he left, and here he has returned. And I feel
well,
like
it did a little bit in that he had to shoot around was it Marasi to
yeah, but I'm like physically, like yes, he picked up from that moment. He was able to repeat that moment and fix it. But I feel like there could be like a physical location of maybe Miles went back to that original city, or maybe it's just a different Western town. It doesn't really matter. But I feel like making this one more Western might have done a little bit better.
Yeah, I feel like that the whole point of it is that you're in that era, but you're moving away from that. You're moving towards the grand civilization. You're progressing, right? Because
Yeah.
this is after all the bridge between eras 1 and 2, or well, 1 and 3, I guess, because it became its own era. But you know what I'm saying.
But I feel like
I know you want more tumbleweeds and 6 shooters.
Yeah, a little bit.
I get that.
Yeah, 36 Colts. I want 36 Colts.
Not to But to compare it to like Stephen King, like Stephen King is great about writing like a really dry desert or like a really like barren town, and just making you think about that town and making you think about how nasty it is or how dry it is, or like just almost making you feel like you're there, you know. And Sanderson is great about like coming up with a new kind of place that you never would have thought of, and like making you think like, oh, how cool is it that, or how cool would it be if this society worked this way, or like, I don't know how much I would get out of a book of him trying to describe how fucking sad a little town is.
Yeah, it's a different kind of stylistic thingy-majig.
Okay, but
Yeah.
this is probably going into more of our ranking of the book and all that. So let's move on to chapter 18. And this is the one where you have the initial fight. The aluminum rifle rounds come back in. Miles blows himself up, which is awesome.
Wax has a talk with God.
I was gonna get then POV switch. Coin shot is a good shot with Marasi's rifle. POV switch. Harmony. I love this. This little part right here is the best part of the book.
Yeah, absolutely. It brings the whole thing together and makes it Mistborn.
Yeah. You got the Sazed coming back and the mist reaching out a little bit and like maybe like sort of looks comforting as it like places like a misty hand on his hand as he's like dying there. And then I love the make their own choices. You mean like Bleeder?
Yeah.
And I know it's cliche, but whenever like a godly being is like, I sent you, I love that. I
Yeah,
like that. 'cause
that
it
line
implies like
it sticks
you're
with
special.
me. Like, too. There's another one I heard today of like, what punishment is not also a gift, and like similar idea. Like, of course, in that moment, Wax must have had this enlightening feeling towards his scenario.
Are you reading one of my fanfics? And then you got Wax in his mist coat for the first time since the beginning of the book. While Miles is shirtless. I think that's a very good juxtaposition. And not to dwell back into it too much, but I feel like if this were like a random place and he's just by like a canal, like maybe having like a wave push up and the box float in and dig against the sand could kind of imply more of a god touch to this.
The lighting.
If that makes sense.
A little god ray just kind of glistening onto it.
Here's your stuff. I've done little nudges. And it always sort of implied to me like the butler just threw it into a canal rather than bring it to this place, put it down, and it just sat here.
Does he ever explain how that trunk got there?
It's believed, I think he gives it to the Vanishers and they just put it there. Because that's also the area where Miles got his chest. And I think that's just where they were keeping chests for some reason.
It's like the random loot room in the RPG that you're playing.
It's like, why are you giving me all this health bar, health, and ammo stuff?
Oh crap, there's a boss coming.
It's like, if you ever played like a game kind of like Borderlands, I guess, where you get like the same thing you're using, but it's at a higher level, and you're like, oh, hell yeah. Like, I don't even have to make a decision here. Like, this is just what I have, but better. Like, that must have been kind of like that moment for him. Like, oh, hell yeah. Like, this is what I wanted. Like,
Except it's his familiar, like, treasured armaments.
Chapter 19, and this is the question of Wax pushing. I think he pushes on a bunch of nails, the nails go into people's bodies, and then he continues to push on them.
Yeah, I had called that out in my summary a little bit too. Just like even in this chapter, it talks about okay, so the only reason Wax can push on the bullets inside of Miles is because he started to heal them, and they started to push themselves out. So
Yeah, they push out, and he like pushes them back in.
Well, and it is very, very specifically called out that it's not impossible, it's just much, much more difficult. So I think it's momentum put the nails in, and the little extra effort is what's keeping them going right through the other side. Or
Yeah, I
what,
think it's
whatever.
that Wax is still maintaining the push on them, and I think if he were to stop said push, he would not be able to push on them again.
oh, so you think it
he's still
resets? Like you start thinking of them as being inside?
Yeah, like he's still maintaining a connection with them, and if he were to break that connection even quickly, that could change that.
Yeah, that's possible. Connection is still one of those things that we haven't really fully explored very well. Like it's still pretty kind of up in the air about how it works. It's one of those more wishy-washy bits of the hard magic system. Or at least that's how it feels right now.
He stays stairs. Okay. The arousal thing with Steris, at the very least in this chapter, kind of is a bit weird to me. Like, I know it's implying, like, oh, she has a fun side. She likes the danger. But I feel like maybe this is, like, a little too quick for that. Also, you could just show that she's happy to see Wax.
All right, so if this comes out weird, it's because I'm thinking about it and talking it out as I'm kind of exploring the idea. So bear with me. I think it's partly that she is experiencing a new set of emotions that she's not familiar with, and they're hitting her in such a way that she's overacting on them a little bit, maybe? Does that kind of make sense?
Potentially. It's just, yeah, that makes sense. I'm just, in my mind, if there were a redo of all that, I would cut it out here, and then, because we know she sort of enjoys it as well later down the line, I believe.
Doesn't seem weird to me. She's in this horrible, hopeless situation, and Wax comes. Wax not he's not ugly. He comes and saves her.
Yes,
I don't
but
know.
also she's been
That makes sense to
kidnapped
me.
literally to be used as, a breeder, and it's just like, yeah, okay, the guy who you've been sort of betrothed to shows up, and it is kicking butt, but like, that's when you sort of get sexually interested. Just like that, it's a little bit weird to me.
It's a
That's-
well-established trope, if not a real thing. I don't know. I've never experienced it, but
You don't think Elland was aroused when Vin
conceptually,
saved him?
Well, Vin was half naked.
that notwithstanding.
Well, ladies love a man in uniform.
But there was nothing about it.
There
I
you
think
go.
I'm fine with it later down the line because like Steris like gets used to these events. I think I'm just this time I'm just like off of it because like
All right, at the risk of being explicit, maybe she just found her kink. Maybe dudes with trench coats and shotguns is her thing. Like, cut the lady some slack.
Wax shooting somebody with a bullet into the back of his head, and then all the different references, and yes, Marasi's the Ute. Marasi's Allomancy comes in clutch.
Yeah, she nailed it.
Anything else for this chapter?
There was the bit about,
Nope.
oh, you're just a sword.
Yeah.
Which is, I don't know if that's what you meant by like the references, but
No, I was
It's definitely
referencing
foreshadowing.
yeah, that one's foreshadowing. Like Miles is right. Wax is a sword. Harmony sword. Okay. 20. Brettin is now Tensoon, and that's why he's acting so weird.
it is so funny to me that like you had mentioned that when we first started reading these books again for the podcast, and I was just like, Psh, okay, what
And now it's
weird.
obvious.
But now, yes, going back, it's like, oh yeah, no, he's totally different. Like this is a different man.
That is absolutely a Contra disguising itself as a cop.
The neighbor's dog is a conjure working for the Lord Ruler.
Yeah, and they can't really torture somebody who does not feel pain. So we just kill him.
You'd mentioned
Right.
psychological torture. Would the Lopin be involved in that?
Oh, he would hate the Lopin. Seriously, lock him in a room with Wayne and the Lopin, and I guarantee you that man will break.
Yeah,
Most amusing
many-
chapter ever.
Would be able to survive.
right. Or somehow revive Ham.
Jeez.
Get the philosophy.
Like we see what. Okay, that begs the question. So Miles has like this sort of I'm the new Kelsier thing. What would happen if like he met like other members of the crew who are nobles but have got to be a part of that idealized version of who he wants to be? Like if Elend like if he met Elend again, would he be like, "Oh, you're rich or you're somebody I can listen to?"
It's a good question. I mean, he did work with Suit, so there's got to be some willingness there. But he doesn't strike
'Cause for
me
some
as the
reason-
type to just turn around.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like Kelsier's the obvious example, but for some reason I imagine like he'll be like, "Yeah, I don't believe you're Kelsier." Like I don't think if Kelsier walked into this man's jail cell, there would be any sort of, "You're Kelsier, I'll listen to whatever you say."
Oh, you mean if Kelsier like literally appeared to him?
Yeah.
I thought you meant like if he ended up meeting a noble person in Luth Elendel who was like sympathetic to his cause.
Nah, I meant like literally. Doesn't matter.
Well, he talks about like I don't know. He talks about being like better than the survivor or something, like not needing his mandate
Yeah.
in 19. So he'd probably just be like, "Whatever, bro."
I'm the better you.
Yeah,
I have guns.
just shoots
And
himself. What?
Pharaoh Kenny.
Can you heal from something like that? I don't think so.
And no more Lessie until next book.
Seems like that's pretty much it, huh? Well, that is pretty much going to do it for this episode of the Cosmere Connections podcast. Be sure to join us next time where we talk about the epilogue. And we are going to be ranking the books. And then before you know it, we're going to be moved on to book 2 of Era 2 of Mistborn, Shadows of Self. So look forward to that. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, star, or heart, or whatever it is on this video. And remember, there's always another connection.
I was like, my eyes were like struggling to stay open. I was like,
I don't think any comments I may have, as limited they are things that should need correcting.
bold of you to say that.
I know.